my first live ever on YouTube. And I'm delighted to have some of the YouTube folks here. And of course, my students and my folks from my Facebook group as well. Today, I want to show you something that will surprise network marketers, affiliate marketers, direct marketers. And that is how to instantly interest someone in your product or your business by not talking about your product or your business. Okay. So first of all, welcome to the show. I'm delighted that you're here. And for many of you, this is probably not your first webinar. So you've heard a lot of stuff about, we're going to give you this, you're going to earn 10,000 a month or 100,000 a year or 100,000 a month, or it's going to be easy. Anyone can do it. This is the best thing in the history of the world. I'm sure you've all heard that. And this is not going to be one of those webinars. So what I want you to know is that the information I want to give you, there's going to be just one main point. The only thing I've got for sale is really a point of view. It's one thing. So put your fears at rest. This is not going to be how to do this and how to do that. And, with one hand behind your ear, do this and then scratch your butt and do that. None of that. Okay. Just one thing. And a lot of times people will tell you that you aren't making it because you don't believe, or because you don't really talk to enough people, or you don't say the right words, or they want to blame you for the problems that you've got. And sometimes it is us, we're not doing anything, but many times it isn't us. I have found that the majority of my students that I've had for, many of them for 15, 20 years, we've built 6 of these companies to the top in record time over the last 29 years. And I would say that the number one reason people in our industry don't do stuff is they don't want to do what they're told to do. As simple as that. If you don't want to talk to everyone and accost them with all this scientific jargon about how great your stuff is, after you've been rejected quite a few times, why would you want to walk into that again? It's like going into the rain without clothes and it's 50 degrees or 30, it's not fun. So you don't really need to do what you can't stand doing. There are ways to do this so that you can stay within your value zone and go outside of your comfort zone, but not outside your value zone. That's really a very big difference. When I build one of these or build anything, I love what I do. And if you don't love what you do, you're not going to do it. And you certainly aren't going to get good at it. So I want to show you the one thing so that you can love what you do again and do it again and have people come with you again, because you can make an impact and you can make some money. All right. So here's my goal for this presentation. If you're a beginner, I want to persuade you to stop thinking that something is wrong with you and that's why it's not working. Other than the obvious, if you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen, right? Manna doesn't kind of flow from heaven without you doing a little manna dance. And for the more experienced people, if you've got organizations and groups, I'll help you get clear on what you can do to keep your people in so that they don't drop out faster than you can put them in the other end, okay? Because that's always an issue, keeping your rank, keeping your positions, keeping your pay at the top, because if the positions aren't filled and functioning, what do you have to do? Pay them all. Right? Those of you who know, you know what we're talking about here. So what I want to do is in the next 20 minutes, maybe 15, I want to get you to believe something, that one thing, which is that your POV is the key to unlock your business growth. I mean, today, this afternoon, you can, when you're done, you should be able to get signups this afternoon, tomorrow, the next day. Okay. And what I mean by point of view is a POV is a point of view. So POV is your point of view. And sometimes we have talked in the past about this being your hot button. But point of view is what I'm going to use today because it's slightly different. Have we got it? Point of view? We're all good with that? Say yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so the one slide here about my story, 29 years, 6 companies I have built to the top, almost all of them in record time. All because I've learned how to use this particular type of approach, this point of view approach. That's how everything begins. Once you get really good at building and approaching people, then instead of doing one at a time, I would do an event and have 20 or 30 people there, or 200 or 2,000. But you have to start with one. If you can do one, you can do more than one at a time. So this is for people who are looking, what do you say or what do you text? If you're going to type to people, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you are, email, one-on-one, how do you start? What do you say so that they don't kind of hang up on you? So that's what I want to show you how to do. And I learned this with my first company almost 30 years ago. The first time I ever did this, I was in the commercial real estate business, and the company that I ended up with, I sold water filters. And I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember, NSA have been around in the business long enough. The company was NSA, National Safety Associates, and they have now become something else. But they at that time had water filters for the home, the house, under the sink, little blue portable ones. And that was how I got started. That first time I was at a Taekwondo event, and there was another professor friend of mine who was there, and he had this little blue filter on the table, and he was pouring his water through it that the waiters brought. And I was a water lover, and I had a big bag full of 3 bottles of water because I didn't drink any water out of any faucet. And so I always had to carry these around. And I said, hey, is that thing any good? Let me try your water. And that's really how it started. So I was into clean water. And a couple things you should notice. When I first saw the little blue water filter, I had 3 bottles of water in my bag. That was heavy to carry that stuff around, you know, but I'd rather do that than drink the water anywhere out of anybody's faucet. So I was already sold on the idea of clean water. So my POV, my point of view about this was already formed. Okay. That makes things a lot easier. Sometimes you have to sell people on that. And that makes it a lot harder, but you won't want to do that. I'll show you a better way. So the first time I got this blue business box, you know, they said, okay, we're going to send you a box of stuff. And all that was in there were brochures and, of course, order forms. And then all the information about the type of carbon that it was granular instead of block, and the quality of the carbon and the type of carbon, and whether it was gray or whether it was black, and then how to hook up the filters, of course, and then the technology around the chlorine testers that they had, and how this carbon was superior to any other carbon on the market. This was primarily what was in the brochures. But we call this kind of talk about the technology and the science technobabble. Some of you that have the orange book, if my product's so great, how come I can't sell it? That's a book of mine. We have a whole section in there called technobabble and how it basically kills sales. So I sold 1 water filter, I think, my first month, because I had that stuff and I thought, well, I guess I should do that, right? That's what the sponsor said. Here, Kim, do this. And it's like, okay, I was good. I was a good girl. I got the brochure. I showed it to somebody, said, look, you know, this is not block carbon, whatever that was, but it's granular. And I did the stuff like they said in their company videos and sold 1, I think. And I wasn't used to those kind of numbers. I like sales. I love sales. And, you know, I thought this is kind of a dumb thing. I'll just use it. I had figured out it's great. I'll use it myself. And then one day I realized, you know, I was looking at this filter and looking at these different types of carbons and thinking, I didn't even know what kind of carbon it was when I signed up for it. I didn't know anything about it. I saw a blue little filter on a table with me and 4 other people that were our foursome doing Taekwondo together. And one guy had this filter and I saw it and I compared it to the 3 bottles I was carrying with me, filtered water, and said, let me taste it. I want to put my water through it, see how it works, how long it takes to filter, right? And then I'm going to taste it and see if it's any good. I didn't know anything else about it. I bought it on the spot. That said, give me one of those and maybe I'd like to sell them. So how do you do that? Sign me up. That's what I said. Okay. Because I'm somebody who likes spreading the word about stuff I like. Remember, I was a commercial real estate broker. So I was accustomed to showing people stuff and seeing what was good about it and bad about it and making deals. I like doing that. So I bought the stuff right away. I'm a good buyer. By the way, if you're a good buyer, you probably will be a good seller. If you are a stingy buyer, you always think, well, I want it cheaper. I want it less. I don't want to pay it. You will be not a very good salesperson either. That's kind of how it goes. Isn't that interesting? All right. So I signed up because I was already a clean water nut. Second, I loved having clean water with me everywhere instead of this little filter that I got, instead of 2 or 3 heavy bottles of water in my bag. That was the story. Plus, I had been paying $1 a gallon. Back in the day, they had Alhambra trucks out by the house, and they had, Red Arrow, I think was the other one. And that's what we did. We paid $1 a gallon. Or we'd send college kids to their grocery stores, and they would come back with these big boxes of 6 big gallons of water and lug them up to my unit. that's what we did. It's $1 a gallon. So this unit, this filter gave it to me for 5 cents a gallon. And I thought a nickel a gallon, you know, you can't beat that. So those were the reasons that I was a clean water nut. I loved having clean water with a little filter instead of lugging these heavy bottles. And I could get it for a nickel a gallon. So that was my story, right? So one day I was doing my usual real estate business and talking on the phone with somebody and said, hey, let me ask you something that has nothing to do with the real estate deal. It's about your water. Can I? And this was a title company person, I think, or another leasing agent, or it may have been even one of the real estate clients. I would ask anybody this and did. And so the person goes, yeah, sure. What's the question? And so I said, okay, so here's the question. Do you drink the caca water out of the faucet, or do you get the bottled water for $1 a gallon? And there was always a pause. This was the question. If I were selling water today, it's what I would do. Because those are my feelings about what comes out of the faucet. They were then, they are today. Nothing's changed, right? So that was what I asked. So I got one of two things that first time, and hundreds of times since, the same thing. First, they would giggle, and then I would get one of these responses. Yep, I get the water. I get the bottled water stuff for $1 a gallon. I buy bottled water for $1 a gallon. Basically, that was the first one. Or they would say, I drink the caca out of the faucet, and why do you have to call it that name, Kim? Right? That was always the response. So if they said, I get the filtered water for $1 a gallon, remember, because we got two responses, right? These two right here. I buy it for $1 a gallon, or I drink the caca out of the faucet. So if they got the first one, I would say, yeah, me too, for the last 5 years. So I've been testing this other filtering option this month, and it's just as good, and it's a nickel a gallon. So if you want to try it, we can set it up. No big deal. That's it. Okay. And of those people, now notice there's only one thing I talked about. I've done it too for 5 years. Same thing you just did. But I got this other option. To me, it's just as good, and it's a nickel a gallon. If you want to try it, I'll let you know. We can set it up. Okay. And of those, about 6 out of 10 said, yeah, let me try it. And out of those, about 6 out of 10 bought. And so we sold a lot, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these with this to this group. Okay. And then we got the people who said, well, I drink the caca out of the faucet. So why do you have to call it that, Kim? Like, okay. That's always what they wanted to know, right? So I got to tell about why I never touch the water out of the faucet, much less drink it or shower in it. We have plastic gloves everywhere. And if you think about it, I've told them, do you use face cream? Do you buy expensive stuff? I mean, if you buy Pond's cream for $6, it won't make any difference. But if you're buying like this Shiseido for $100 a jar, or La Mer for $2,000 a jar, because that's like some kind of a straight collagen thing. If you do that, and they would say, yeah, I have, do all kinds of things for my skin. And I said, just think about this. You're gonna take a shower, right? And here you are taking a shower, and you're being drenched with bleach water. Bleach. Do you know what that does to your skin? What do you think chlorine is? It's bleach. Why do you want all that? Are you crazy? I mean, you're going to dry out like a prune. And here you are spending thousands on facials and who knows what. And that's what you're doing. And they would say, oh my gosh, had no idea. Right? And so of those, 6 out of 10 bought the filters. Notice, nobody talked about the technology. Nobody talked about the carbon. Nobody talked about the science. They didn't even know the name of the company. We were talking points of view, things that matter, issues. Do you care or do you not care? Nobody heard any technobabble, another word of it from me ever. Not only that company, but 5 more since then, because they didn't care. Either they didn't want to drink the caca water. Oh my God, now that I know why you don't do it, give me that filter. Or they wanted to pay a nickel a gallon where they had been paying $1 a gallon. Now you're going to wonder, what about the caca people that stay caca water drinkers? And they would say, Kim, I don't mind the caca water. I'm good. The city says it's okay. And a lot of people drink it. I'm okay. And I don't care that much about my skin. I say, great. Okay. So on the deal, the next point's going to be yada, yada. So fax over the documents. They had faxes in those days. And we ended the conversation, and I changed the conversation first. Always. Never brought it up again, ever. Never, never, never. Never tried to persuade them. It's just they like it. The city says it's good. Hey, you know, whatever. And I just let go. I did not try to do the conversion ever. And I mean, I suppose I could have, but I'm a speed person. I want to go fast and sign up all the dominoes. Boom, 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 boom. And you can't do that if you stop with one and shake them up and say, hey, don't you know, hey, if they don't have that point of view right now, it's okay. Let me go to the one who does. You see how this works? This is how you go fast. Stop pretending that you need to convert and persuade every person. No, you start by getting the ones who are already ready, whose eyes are open enough so you don't have to shake them awake, so that you get all of those first, get some income, get some success, and feel good about what you're doing. That's what you do. Otherwise, you've persuaded your sister-in-law who isn't going to do anything, and you feel like a loser, and then you quit. No, don't do that. POV, you're looking for matches, yours and theirs. So you get all those yeses first. Does that make sense? Okay, good. All right. So just to get to the bottom line here, I never did talk about the science or any, I never even showed the brochures. Again, I used my point of view. This is the company, as a matter of fact. We had a couple of rounds with them, and that's what I did. I told people how to do that. I used a point of view that had nothing to do, not one scientific word, not one piece of science, none of it. Technobabble really ruins and kills sales. The other types of companies that we built with the same approach were Fruits and Veggies and Capsules, the sending card company, the internet marketing company called Empower Network, built all of those into the top 5 earners in the company, or to the top positions, or one company-wide recruiting contest, #1. And then we did an experimental secret team in a weight loss and cleansing company, where in 90 days we did starting with these POV methods, built it to the top spot that company had, I think in 86 days or something like that. Okay. So the key is, in no case did we ever use any technobabble. In all cases, I led with a hot button or a point of view. And I'd like to show you how to do that, because it's kind of a combination of a point of view and a story. Okay. So for these filters, by the way, we went on in the first 90 days or so, we sold like 65 or $70,000 worth of these things. And they paid pretty well. I think they paid like, I don't know, 20, 25 grand, something. And so they called and said, hey, you know, we never had anybody sell this many filters without recruiting people, because I didn't know you should recruit then. And so would you come and tell people how you did that? And that's how it started. I had no idea why they'd want me to come. Like, what do you want me to come for? Well, you have to tell people how you did it. Well, you sell them. That's what I thought. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Sell this stuff. And they said, yeah, but people don't sell as much as you do, so why don't you come and tell? And I thought, okay, great. It was my first time ever. I thought it was the coolest thing. But I was totally taken aback that they would ask. You know, like, if you said sell this stuff, and I like to sell this stuff, and so that's what I did. And then my sponsor said, Kim, you got to recruit people like you. That's what you want to do. Okay, so I'm not going to take the time to go through what we did in the other companies, but the stories were exactly like this. I took a point of view that I shared anyway. I market stuff that I care about because it's an extension of who I already am in terms of my values. That's how I choose what to market. And then I give it my own personal touch, because obviously that's what we want to do. Like for me, the cacao water. And to this day, there are people who say, oh, how can you say that? That's what it's to me. It's a strong point of view. And when you have strong feelings about the principles that lie behind what you market, your why, it makes a huge difference in how people see what you market and see you, you know? There's a guy named Mr. Rogers who, it was 1969 or so, in the 60s, he was losing $20 million of funding for his program that on PBS, the Mr. Rogers show, I think. And in 6 minutes, he earned $20 million from a Senate that did not want to give him money. And this is precisely how he did it. He had no technobabble, no threats of children genocide if you don't give me money. He didn't have one statistic, none. He never said mine is the best program. No. He had a point of view. I care deeply about what what children are being shown on television, as I'm sure you do. What are they being shown? Cartoons that are basically violent, people bopping people over the head, hitting each other with bats like Bugs Bunny. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen those. And people shooting each other. This is drama. And he said, I think we can do better. We can create drama so people will watch it without having to do those things. You see, that was his point of view. And he showed it. And he almost sang a little song to the senator, who just about cried. Every time you see that video, that's what you do. And this is how you want to market. Because you're calling people by name with your point of view about why you're even bothering to do this. You see, it's quite a bit different situation. So we've had quite a few people who have gotten to the tops of their companies with really very simple things like this, these approaches where you start with a point of view instead of all the technobabble. And we have many programs and I'm going to just show you one. You'll be surprised how simple it is when we get there in just a couple of slides. But some of these stories are from some of the bigger programs that we have, but they all start with a point of view first, the way I've showed you right here in water. That's the one thing you want to come away with. What's going to be your POV that you start with, your why you even bother. Here's a gal, Brooke Nielsen. She has been a student for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, and now she's one of our teachers in the program. And she said she was making 6 figures a year, which is around $100,000. That's pretty good, right? For anything. Network marketing is no exception. And she said she started to hate network marketing because all she did was talk to people on Facebook with I've got the best product in the history, and these are the best this and the best that. And she didn't want to spam people, especially her friends. So she said she got all these likes, but nobody ever turned into a customer. And plus she said, her family and her friends stopped liking her. So she thought she could get some kind of a job because she was already a big time nurse someplace. And she didn't really need the income that much, So she figured, I'm not going to do this anymore. And now she's learned how to do a certain kind of posting. We have certain templates, which you're going to see here in just a second, where the help posting approach is I help people who have this issue, right? Help people who have this issue and who want to get past it without having to do these yucky things that they don't want to do. So she's again using a point of view to help people who have certain issues based on her experience, right? And so now she feels like she's an expert in that niche. Like people said, are you a water expert? No. What water filter should I buy? Well, I don't know. It depends on where you live. I'm not an expert in the water filter, the manufacture of water filters. I should probably say it, but I don't really care how they're made. Right now, I have some kind of a reverse osmosis system that feeds the minerals back into the water that I drink. So I'm less concerned about the technology of it than how is it, the cleanness of it. And don't take out all the minerals because we need some of the minerals that come in water, just not the chlorine and the lead and all the other stuff. So you see, what I'm expert in is knowing that if you have clean water, not only for your body will you last longer, your skin will look better, your hair looks better, your coffee and teas, if you care at all about that, are better. Your broths, I have bone broth going, they have it going 24/7, and it's much better with cleaner water. So I'm an expert on the value of clean water versus the specific machinery. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So now she's passionate about network marketing again. And she's she doesn't have the issue with spamming with people because she's leading with her point of view, her story about why she bothers in the first place to market the specific thing that they're doing. And you want to have that same thing. Here's another gal. She's been a friend for, almost 20 years. And when she had same issue, she spent hours and hours on the phone trying to sell people with really the technology of how her thing was better than somebody else's. It never did work for her. And she learned how to do exactly the same thing that I'm showing you here, how to talk about what she had from a point of view of, why she was bothering in the first place, right? Without making ridiculous promises that nobody wants. And she didn't She spent, hours pre-qualifying people. In other words, how many of you have spent time, you talk to somebody, you make your whole presentation, they go, oh, I don't have any money. Oh, you need to figure that out beforehand. My first phrase for the water company, first one I ever did, is, do you drink the caca out of the faucet or do you pay a buck a gallon? I know instantly what I'm going to get. So you come up with those questions based on your point of view, so that within 10, 15 seconds of any post that you make, any text that you send, any words that you say into a phone or a Skype or a Zoom, you know right away who's where and who's not, so that you can pick off the best ones right away, sign them up, position them, and get your first week of a few $100 in the door with happy people who share your point of view. That's what we're doing. So you're not hunting down the right people. You're not persuading the right people. You're not banging on them. None of that. Right? That's what you want to learn how to do. And that's what this gal learned how to do. And she said at the bottom here, finally, she wasn't tied to the phone anymore. Why? Because you only talked to the 2 or 3 who were the right ones, not 10. No. And her confidence returned. And now she said, now she looks forward to every call. Because we have an automated screening system that's based on this, which is not what we're talking about today. But when you automatically screen people, the questions asked about the caca, not you, but the questionnaire say, then you're totally sailing, because the only people who come are the ones, oh my God, that's what happens. So that's why it goes so fast. These are more stories about people who have, they have magic that happens to them. And when you realize that you're just connecting with another human, you're not making friends to sell them. No. It's like Steve Jobs. He made computers. Of course they wanted to sell them. But you know why he was in the computer business? It wasn't to sell more computers than anybody else for less. No. He was in the computer business because he thought the computer industry sucked. He said they're ugly. People don't know how to use them. And at that time, when Apple started their computer business, the competition was Bill Gates's, Microsoft, those computers. And I don't know if any of you remember, but when you turn on one of those DOS computers, you'd have the thing flashing, with the greater than sign, I believe, and then the colon sign, and you'd have to start typing stuff in. Some of you or your parents are going to remember those days. Steve Jobs said that is the most horrible thing in the world. So he went into business with the computer business because he thought the status quo sucked. That's the reason I'm doing this. To me, the training in the network marketing industry sucks. Teaching people to technobabble, to lead with the science, when they ought to be leading with their own stories, is causing tremendous numbers of people to quit the business. And they think it's them, particularly the women. It's not. You start with a point of view. Why are you even bothering? Why the water? Well, because now you know about the water. Why did I do the fruits and veggies? Well, because we know I'm looking for people who know they should get their 5 to 9 fruits and veggies. Those people, and they're not doing it, and they want to figure out how to do it without having to go and shop and pick them out and check out and go home and chop them up some more and then clean them and then cook them and then eat them and clean up the mess. They don't want to do that. They want some other way to get their 5 to 9 fruits and veggies, which they know won't be as good, but better than nothing. Those people, you put the call out for those people, and that's all who comes. Why would anybody say no? If they come, you call Henry, the Henrys come. That's who they are. You see, you learn how to do that. So I want to, to see how to do that. So you can see what some of these are. We teach people how to post like this too. One gal did this. She lives in South Africa, and she said she got 58 responses. She's never had any response in 10 years of doing her business, right? Because when you have these kinds of stories, it makes such a difference because it comes from you. It's not in any brochure. See, that's the key. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay. So what I have to show you today is something for $5.55. Okay. I meant to put some more pictures of all the other companies and stuff that I had, but I didn't have time to do it because I couldn't get into my own Zoom account. So here's what I have for $5.55. You ready for this? Go here to thekimbook.com and you will see this page at the top. See that? On the right-hand side here. And the book is called If My Product's So Great, How Come I Can't Sell It? Some of those of you who are Russell Brunson fans, you know that he's always talking about when you are telling your story and you're doing your epiphany stories, that the big problem people have is when they talk to people about their product is that they all use technobabble, the science, like ketones are better than glucose. And this product triggers chemical reactions at the cellular level. And I just tell you that for many people, maybe women in particular, I'm not sure. Since I am one, I'll take the risk and say it. But sometimes we feel we're really not that important. And so our opinions don't really matter that much, you know, and that we don't really matter that much. If you've been a mother much of your life, you're pretty much, like one lady said, I feel like wallpaper. You know, they only notice if it's peeling because you're supposed to, you know, you're supposed to be everybody's everything. And so many times women, men too, of course, do this, but I'm talking to the girls now. You want to talk about the science of it because it seems like that's what's going to sell versus your opinion, because who are we, right? I'm just a mom with 3 kids. I don't have any credentials. Let's say you say that, or I don't really have any knowledge. I'm not. Many people have very low opinions of themselves. And even those of us who are pretty smart and have like really good bookkeeping skills or management skills or children organizational skills, we think, you know, that's what I'm supposed to have. And so you talk about your product and you talk about the science, the cellular level, the DNA, this is the best CBD oil, and all the, you talk about how what matters is the technology. It does not matter to buyers. They want to know, why are you even bothering? The reason Steve Jobs' computers sold so well, and now of course iPhone, in the beginning, is because they work better. Nobody said, how do you make it that when I touch it, this moves? Nobody asked about that technology. They just said, oh my God, like on the phone, for example, you know, you have a 1-year-old and you see them on an iPad doing stuff. It's as if the iPad is an extension of their body. Do you think the 1-year-old or the mother goes, God, I wonder what the technology is that makes that possible? They hide all the technology. You don't know anything about it. What you have is what they call a good user experience. And this is what people want to know from us. Why are you selling this stuff? The technology, that isn't why you got into it. Why did we get into anything, right? We call it a first date script. Well, before I had this product, you know, I had trouble keeping my weight off. I tried like 11, 12, 13 different diets and I kept putting it back on. And then, so finally I tried this particular thing and I figured out it isn't going to work. But it actually kind of curbed my appetite a little bit. And it's been 5 years now or 6 years now, and I've kept it off all these years. And I don't have to do funny things and give up all the foods that I enjoy. I can still eat pizza now and then, even ice cream now and then, let's say. That's the story you learn to tell. Nobody cares about what the science is in it. They want to know, what's your experience and why are you promoting this? You see, it makes such a difference. Go watch Simon Sinek's movie, Why, and 6 minutes, and you'll see that the why, if you want to change the status quo of an industry like I do, I want to help women in particular learn how to tell their stories from their point of view. That's how you get hundreds of people coming to you. They don't care about the science till much later. And if you want to talk about science, talk about it in your company. That's the place for it, with all the Dr. Dinglings and all the hoo-has and all talking about the science and yada, yada. But in terms of somebody who wants to use it, think about iPad, think about iPhone. What do you know about the technology? All you wait is look at the thing here and you want to touch it and do this and that, and it better work with your finger or you're going to start complaining. You're not looking at the science, you're looking at what you do with it, why it affects you and why you want it, why you prefer it. So I want to show you this book. You can go to thekimbook.com, and we're doing one little special today. I have a little program called One-Liners. And when you're talking to people on the phone or Skype or anywhere, these are one-liners that help shut down the negative people. You know, like, oh, are you doing one of those things? Or is this one of those pyramids? You know, those kind of people that you get. Are you still pushing that stuff? These are one-liners that help shut people down and at the same time intrigue them with what you do have. Okay, so we're doing that for people whose orders come in today. The book is $5. This one-liners program will be inside the members area when you get it. So if you already have the book, be my guest and get it again, because what you're going to get on the house is the one-liners, which you wouldn't have to pay $27 for if you want to do that. So that's what I have. Any questions from anybody? Yes, if you want to order the one-liner directly, okay, let me show you where you get that. Yep, it's at the KimKlaverAcademy.com. The one-liners by themselves are, so it's KimKlaverAcademy.com. Okay, so if you want the one-liners by itself, go to this link and you'll see this course right here. That's this one right there. Okay, yeah. It's totally fun. This is really good for holidays and whatnot also. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so you can see this. Okay, cool. All right, good. All right. Thanks very much for coming. And again, if you want to do this, get the kimbook.com and it will show you how to create your point of view and your before and after and talk to people like a normal person, like you used to, without any of the technobabble, so that you can connect with the ones who are already pre-sold on the why of what you're doing. Because I'm here to tell you that technobabble is the kiss of death for sales. Number one, everybody knows you're selling because nobody normal talks about that. You see, it's only inside the meetings. That's not a normal place. When you're out in the real world, there are people, the heathen, as we call them, right? Who don't know anything about it. So you have to talk like a normal person. So your story, your own before and after, is a marvelous one and a marvelous way to begin that, right? So you're not seen as a seller, but someone who is part of a movement, who has a point of view and who has a reason for doing what they're doing, other than just, putting a few cents in your pocket. That's a very boring reason to other people. They want to know, where are you going? Why are you doing that? I want to do that. Everybody wants to be part of a movement that's going someplace. It's not about selling something. It's about achieving something, a point of view, a change in the status quo. Do you see what I mean? That's what you want to go for. All right, good. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.